Hello, welcome to my channel. My name is Jade. I am a baby witch. I just started my magical journey this year, and I'm really excited to bring this tutorial for you guys today. It's going to be really fun. I took a class not that long ago and I had a blast, and I just wanted to share this knowledge with anyone who is willing to learn and try. So today we're going to be making altar brooms. They're super cute and fun and customizable. I'm just really excited to show this to you. If you like content like this, feel free to subscribe, like the video, anything that you want, and let's get right on into the tutorial. You'll need a tying block. This can be any scrap piece of wood with a hole in the middle. You want to make sure it's at least 1 foot. 3 to 8 ounces of broom corn, roughly 10 yards of nylon string, any color of your choice. To decorate your broom, you can use dried flowers or greenery, a pair of scissors, a zip tie, a very sharp serrated knife. You'll also need to make your ripcord. This should be at least 6 inches when it's tied together. You can also make your handle any size that you would like. So next thing you're going to do is you're going to take your broom corn and you're going to section it out. So how I usually do it is I take about half of the original amount and then I put this in half. And then I take this in half as well, just to make it as even as possible. It doesn't have to be perfect though, do not worry. So you're gonna place it down in a grid pattern, like a hashtag pattern, just so that it remains easy to pick up and everything stays even and together. There you go, just like that. So now all of your broom corn is laid out nice and smooth, so it's easy to just pick up and start working with it. I also have my dried flowers here accessible to me for when I need to use it to decorate my broom. You don't have to use dried flowers, they are very delicate. So if you're not comfortable with that, I would say skip this step and just do the main broom with the broom corn. Alright guys, so first up you're going to take your nylon string and you're going to measure out 10 yards of nylon. A good way to do this is to hold it up against your chest and pull it out through the length of your arm. So I'm going to go ahead and do mine really quick and I'll meet you back here when I'm done. Then you're going to take your tying block and you're going to tie this to the bottom of it. So you're going to come up through the hole and just do a normal tie here. Doesn't have to be perfect, just want to keep it in place. That's all you're trying to do. And that's what it should look like. Then you're going to take the rest of the string here and you're going to wrap it all the way around. Okay, and you're going to make sure to keep a little bit of your string left so that you can pull it up to where you are. You can unravel it if you need to. Then you're going to place this down at your feet and you're going to place 1 foot on either side, just like that. And then you have your string here. Now you're going to take your first little bundle of broom corn that you separated out and you're going to tap it down on your table with the wispy ends. So you see how these are kind of frayed and these ends are straight? you want to take your wispy ends and you want to tap it down like this on your table to get it even. This is actually going to be where you brush from, so that's why it's important to get it as even as you can down here. So at the tip here, you're going to split this in half, roughly. You're going to take the end of your nylon string, you're going to place it right down the middle, roughly 3 to 6 inches from the top of the broom corn, depending on how long you want it. And you're going to wrap it around like that. And you want to keep your tension here. And from here, you're going to wrap about 6 times around, all in line. And you'll see here, I wrapped it roughly 6 times. And then on the 6th one, you're going to create a V shape with the nylon. So you're just going to pull from there and you're going to pull it up a little bit to create a roughly a 45-degree angle. Then you're going to grab your next broom corn bundle and going from underneath here, you're going to place it right next to the other bundle there. And now is the time when you're going to want to add any dried flowers you want. I usually skip the first one because it's pretty close to the edge, so I usually start with the second one to add those dried flowers. So go ahead and add whichever dried flowers you like. So once you add your dried flowers there and you place them where you want them, you're going to want to make sure you have that V shape still, so you're going to jump ahead just like that. And then you're going to continue with the really tight tension wrapping toward you, not away, but toward, like that. And again, you're going to do this about 6 wraps roughly, but you can do as many as you want to fit your aesthetics, completely up to you. So that's about 6 for me. And again, making sure that you're keeping your tension here on your string so that it doesn't come undone. So now this little piece that you had before from your starting it, you can go ahead and cut this if you want because it's pretty wrapped in there now. So you don't need it anymore. You can kind of just tuck it into the broom corn and then it's completely invisible and you can't see it anymore. So now we're going to take our next piece of broom corn, tap it on the table with the wispy ends down. You're going to come up underneath like that and lay it right next to the rest and try to line it up as best as you can. And then from here, we're going to continue adding our dried flowers as needed. Just be careful, they're very delicate, so just place them nicely there. And you wanna make sure that you're getting your V shape again and continue wrapping, keeping that tension real tight so that everything stays in place. And be careful of your flowers because they might kind of catch your hand a bit. And anytime you need, obviously you're going to run out of the string that you have down here. So you just want to hold it as tight as you can here at the top. And then you kind of just want to unravel roughly 1 or 2 times at a time, depending on how tall you are or how far up you want to continue wrapping. And then you just keep wrapping. And again, I'm doing mine about 6 times. You can do more or less. I wouldn't necessarily do less, but if it's more aesthetically pleasing to you, by all means, go for it. That is my 6th wrap. Then I'm going to add my V shape, and then I'm going to take my next bundle of broom corn, tap my wispy ends down, come from underneath, and place it right next to the rest. Just like that. You want to make sure you're placing them under the flowers as well so they don't break or anything like that. Feel free to adjust if they are a little uneven at the top. Feel free to kind of pull back if you need to. And then adjust the V again, keeping that tension at all times. Now is the time to place your flowers again. So feel free to do that now. I'll just keep this one for now. It's a bit big. You want to get your tension again and then just keep wrapping toward you. Sometimes when you see you have your V here, you have your V and then you have this, sometimes they're not connected. You can always just move it over a little bit so it's a bit more connected and just kind of adjust the string as needed. And then you just want to continue down, and you always want to make sure that they're in line with each other as you go down, just so that it stays nice and neat. And again, don't forget your tension. This is really, really important. You want to keep that tension at all times. That's my 6th row. I'm going to pull up a couple now. Gonna take my next piece of broom corn, tap the wispy ends down, come from underneath, and place it right next to the rest. Just like that. And you wanna make sure you're coming under the flowers as well, just so that those don't get lost within the broom, and then they're nice and pretty up at the top here. And then again, you want to go ahead and add any flowers that you have left over. And we can adjust this later if we feel like it's too much. We can always break stuff off and adjust it later if we want to. There's no problem with that. This is completely customizable, so don't be afraid of adjusting later. And let's go ahead. We want to make sure we get our V together, keep that tension, and then you keep wrapping toward you, just like we've been doing the whole time. And I should mention, the tighter the better, because at the end, the tighter your broom, the more dramatic of a wing shape you will get. If that is something you're interested in, I definitely recommend having a tighter wrap. That is my 6th wrap. We're going to, again, repeat the process. We're going to grab our next piece of broom corn, tap the wispy ends down on your table or surface, whatever you're using here. Come from underneath, just like so, and place right next to the rest of your pieces. And again, feel free to kind of adjust where needed, just to make sure everything is nice and even. And then again, you want to place any flowers here that you have. And I think I'm going to downsize this one a little bit. It's a bit big for my taste. Make sure you get your wing. Feel free to remove any extra pieces here that you don't need anymore toward the end. All right, once you feel like that's good, continue wrapping toward you. Again, take your time with this. There's no rush. Doesn't have to be perfect. It's meant to be uniquely yours. So just do what feels right for you. And I don't think I have to remind you at this point, but make sure you keep that tension at all times. You should only have a couple of broom corn stacks left, depending on how many you did. I did 8, so I only have 2 more left here. So again, come from underneath, place next to the others as such. And you want to put any dried flowers that you may want to place here as well. Again, the dried flowers are completely optional. It's not a necessity. I just think it looks pretty. You're going to create your V shape, keep that tension, and continue wrapping. It's my 6th wrap. I am on my last stack of broom corn. Gonna come underneath, just like every time else. Place next to the rest of my broom corn. Adjust where needed. Place the rest of the flowers I have here. Sometimes they might fall to the side. That is a little annoying. So if you want to, you can kind of try adjusting again and really placing it right on top of that broom corn so that once you start wrapping again, they stay in place. So we'll go ahead, create our V like we've been doing, pull tight, and continue wrapping toward us. We're basically done with the broom portion of this. We have all of our broom corn pieces in place, and we have placed all of our flowers, adjusted everything as we wanted. At this point, you want to keep wrapping to make a handle. And if you feel like this isn't quite long enough, you can continue doing the jump, wrap, for a couple more tries. And what I'm actually going to do is these little stalks here, I'm actually going to cut them from here because these are part of the flowers and I don't need them anymore. The flowers are sufficiently placed, so that's not important anymore. So I'm going to do a couple more jumps here, maybe 1 or 2, just to get a nice handle on my broom. And this is also why we gather so much string. I know it seems like a lot, and it's definitely more than you will need realistically, but it's just in case you like a longer handle on the broom, you know, just to make this a more creative process for you so that you're really happy with your broom here. You want to keep it even, so if you've done 6 the whole time, just keep doing those 6 or however many you have done throughout the process. I think I'm gonna do 1 more jump and then that will be the last jump that I do. So I'm happy with the handle length on this one. So this is broom, this is handle. And keep in mind, we're gonna wrap a few more times too. So this isn't the end of it, but we're coming to the end here. So I just wanna make sure I have enough to be able to cut it at the end. I might wrap a couple more times here just to get a nice sturdy top part. That's good for me. Now, this is when we introduce our handle, which is the smaller nylon piece here, and our ripcord, which is the much longer one. So you want to wrap, you want to come to the back of the broom. The back is the part with no flowers showing for the most part. From here, I always place my little handle first, you know, where you can hang it from this. I always place this one first right in the center so that I am happy with the placement. Doesn't have to be perfect. Again, this is completely up to you. You don't even have to have a handle if you don't want to. And then you're going to take your ripcord. I like to do this one on the back as well. I place it next to it. I leave a little bit of space between them just so that they don't get confused when I am pulling the ripcord out. So I have those 2 placed there. And you want to make sure that they're parallel to the broom here, laid flat like that. And you want to, again, keep holding the nylon string taut, keep that tension, and you just want to continue wrapping around. It can be a little challenging to keep these in place, but you just want to do your best. And you want to do this roughly 6 to 10 times, depending on how many times you want. I like to do mine quite a few because I really want these to be nice and stuck inside of here so they don't accidentally pull out. An inch of cord at the top there to differentiate between the handle and the broom. I feel like I am just about happy with that. I'll do a couple more turns and then my handle is good to go. So from here, you're going to cut the cord down here. Doesn't have to be long, but you don't want it to be super short. You're gonna hold it as tight as you can up here. Cut the cord, keep holding it tight. You're gonna turn it around so that you can see your ripcord on the back here. Remember, the ripcord is the longer one. It's not the shorter one. You're going to loop this through the ripcord like so. So now that's inside the ripcord. And again, try to keep this remaining as tight as you can. You're gonna take this, where the ripcord is, the knot from the ripcord, make sure it doesn't get stuck on the end of the broom. Sometimes it does. There we go. We're gonna pull it all the way down. And then through the part where you've laced up. You see how it went through right there? So now that is in there nice and tight. And you still have your handle here, so you can hang it if you want. The ripcord is reusable, so I would just set that aside and reuse it in case you want to make another broom. And then from here, I would just go ahead and cut that extra piece off on the back. So now you're all fixed back here. Once you have finished the broom, you have all your flowers laid out. If you used flowers, you have everything wrapped wrapped up, you're going to take your zip tie here and you're going to wrap about an inch up from the end of the handle here. You're going to be about an inch up, roughly half an inch, something like that. And you're just going to pull it as hard as you can. This is important because when you're cutting it, it's going to be hard to cut if you don't have this nice and tight. So that looks about good to me. You're going to be cutting on the back of it, so you're going to have that extra little bit, so keep that in mind. Then you're going to take your knife, and on a cutting safe surface, you're going to start from here and you're going to cut all the way through. It's a little tough, so just make sure you have a good knife. This one's not that good, so I do struggle with this a little bit, so I'm probably going to be a little uneven on the end, but just make sure you have a nice sharp knife. And I will come back when I am done cutting. So once you're done cutting, of course you're gonna have a bunch of broom corn that you cut off the end, but if you have a good knife, you should be able to get a nice flat cut on the end, just like this. So once you're done with that, you just pull that off. That's done. So now your broom is basically finished, guys. Great job. We just have one more step if you're interested. This is actually my favorite part. I love this part so much. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna kind of like hold the broom here and you're going to grab the end part. So here, where you made your first wrap, and you're gonna pull toward you, just like that. And you can keep pulling down to get a better wing shape. Feel free to adjust where needed. And again, this is completely optional if that's not something that you want to do. If you don't want to wing your broom out, feel free to leave it as is. So now once you got the wing shape that you want, you're basically done. If you want to, if you feel like the ends of your broom are a bit uneven, you can take your scissors and you can kind of just trim them down to create a nice even shape at the end. I'm a little bit of a perfectionist sometimes, so I get a little carried away with the little intricacies, but look, it's so pretty. Mine is a bit long, but I kind of like it like that because I get a nice grip on the end there so I can really sweep nicely. But that is the finished product, guys. Great job if you followed along and made your own broom. You did amazing. I would love to see your brooms if you feel like sharing. Feel free to comment down below if you have any questions or if you just want to tell me how your broom making process went. I'd love to hear it. So yeah, and enjoy your brooms, guys. You did a great job. I am so proud of each and every one of you for making your very own altar broom. I know you did a great job. I can't wait to see them. If you decide to share with me, I would absolutely love that. I did want to show you a couple of iterations of the same kind of broom that I made before. So they're about the same roughly, except this one has a lot more broom corn than this one. As you can see, the diameter of them is different, but I just wanted to show you that you can create literally any size, shape, whatever you want with this method. I hope you guys have a lot of fun. Make it your own. Have a great time. Thank you for watching. Enjoy your broom, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.